Hello, this is Gerald, two of us. Let's explain again one of the words that will be easy to follow, how I explain it, what they mean. Every letter in this system, in the system I developed, is about letters, how we recognize them orally, but also how we can visualize it. It's the system itself works quite unconsciously that we recognize these letters. How do we recognize these letters? In a way, resumed in a very simple way, we recognize certain letters because we recognize them on a very short moment, or in a continuation they still remain more or less with the same qualities. These are the first nine letters, like the first nine letters in a very all related to that position. Simply said, actually, but it's also an orientation how we have that. In the same way how we orientate ourselves in space, we recognize it somewhere and see the differences and how they distance each other against each other. Once a letter, what we hear, also how we hear it, needs a bit more time, and you see, okay, it develops towards something or towards something else. When we really see a development over time, even in this very short notice, when we have that realization, they're all about timings, and they are from the second category. Once we have letters that are more like a general influence, that we really don't know, okay, where is it going to, where do we have our moment where we have, okay, here we can resume that. But it's more like a general influence, or that these are about another 9 positions also that reflect actually a different kind of thinking and association. This all goes automatically, but all the letters can be derived to this kind of thinking, which is a whole system, a system which you can read in various ways, also in a geometrical way. Let's go to a simple example of port. I will also at the same time compare it to passage as well. Port will be explained according to the positions that we recognize. Actually, these positions I can also resume them in this way. Actually, there's all positions in the point, and depending on where the point is and how we orientate ourselves towards that point, we actually recognize different things, different kinds of association, and they are resumed actually just in one point alone, although I explained it before, like you need 1, 2 or 3 points to really have an orientation into these first 9 letters. Actually, 1 point will be sufficient as well. But then we need a helping tool, the helping tool to pinpoint the right position, and the position against what our general view is the horizontal, vertical and diagonal. So you can see here these points of positions have also the horizontal, the vertical or the diagonal lines, and the balance between how they are balanced between our general view can decide actually what it means, what they mean. You don't see what it means, but you see its positions and it differences quite well here. The same for the next category, which is always a comparison between 2 timings, 2 different positions, and also there you will see the horizontal, vertical, diagonal. This time as directions, and these directions will evolve and they have a certain change, and you follow it up, and this follow up is actually what you will have in these letters. And you can use the general rules that I have, the 1, 2, 3 rule, in a way that there are also 3 positions. You have starting points, starting point position, then you have the volume position, and then you have the border position. This element is always a returning thing. And the same way how also positionings can be at the starting point within the volume or at the edges, or as you can see here, you can read them in different ways, and how I'll put these points there, they are exactly the same thing in an order that is really alternating in a very regular way so that you can follow it up. Just check it again with the letters to it, and then you understand. And once you recognize what this means or what it could mean, we already have a very good idea what it means letter by letter, and how this builds up letter by letter. No, not too much explanations this time, and yes, I'm rushing already because I don't have so much time these days. But so okay, let's go to the next level. Also there you can have, okay, the first positions go towards the second position. So I have a starting point and I go to a continuation of changes also in the first three letters here, D and Y. So next letters, so then I'm not using the starting points, but I go already towards the volume. So I have already positions in the starting points in the volume of the volume. And I go towards the volume from the volume. I've asked or pass on from the volume to the edges. And also the last ones. Okay, I have the starting point, the volume, the edges, and I go also there towards the borders, and I lead into from the borders. This whole logic, you can build it up. Try it again at home when you're relaxed, and just try to memorize actually the alternation and see what that means. We'll have it simple. I'll have that word simplified here, the P. Let's go to one example, what it will mean in reality. P, so this is the two positions of P. So you have something that actually goes towards the edges and leaves the edges, and that's actually the P about. In this timing process, that's actually what happens. Something pops up, it will have a push from within and it pops out. That's basically the P. So it's almost like a forced or concluding change. It's all about changes, and you have here at the end, okay, let's have this pushing through the borders. And yes, I will go to something that is also almost outside my general borders, and I'll leave actually the general view, even in timing, that I can finally also will use it to associate it with something completely different. Just think about it. The passage, for instance, when I have these P positions associated with the next letter A, what does the A mean? A is centering my position, centering my focus. I have this centering focus 2 times the same, but what will happen in a timing, you see, yes, I will go from my position onwards and I leave that position. With passage, with the S to it, I will go to the full outer borders of my orientation, and with the G as well, so which goes to even a bigger connection to bigger patterns outside that, I will go and leave from positions of space towards the bigger positions. And actually that will already be a very good example of how do we associate passage. We go from a certain point of orientation in timing, we leave it, we go through it, we go to somewhere else, and it also leads us to passages that near us that also are related with much more bigger patterns and from outside that region. Basically that's passage. Well, we're going to port, and port is associated with O. So when we have this center focus of A, where is the O? I explained that many times before. The second category is about leaving the space, So the surrounding space is already the first position of leaving the space, where you can have the changes, the movements that go towards another space and so on. So when I focus on that area, the breaking the borders actually towards a different position is then visible as well. I leave my own borders after a time process, and that's what I'm trying to follow. And the object itself is related with that surrounding area which is describing the port. The R itself is about the connections, making connections. But what kind of connections? It's the connection to the ongoing situations that I have a formula almost like, yes, I can continue to make connections from something that is also preceding, stimulating these continuous access points actually, or accesses to this effort that I'm going to do from P onwards, and and can also repeat that idea. It's a path of repetition in a way. It's a definition. It's an ability that I'll be able to use to go towards it, and also leave it, and also from it, because with the P I will leave that area also, and I make that new connection. And that's actually So in the background there's something which is saying, okay, I have here something that I can have access to within the port, within pore, that can lead me to having an access and leave this access as well, and so that I can have it connected to a pattern or definition of something else. And the T itself will focus upon, yes, it's also in the vertical. I have a vertical position, but I also need, because it's at the second position, the basis for it from the horizontal to say like, okay, I have a basis of a form that is continuous and that nothing changes, but the point of change I can find in the vertical where the thing is changing, and that leads again to the point of where the thing happens, where I will go to that port, go have an access to the full formula, and I can also leave the port from there when I'm outside my frame of focus. That's basically port about, and that's the definition of port. I hope you understood this. Thanks again for watching. Bye.